Welcome to Rough Cuts, a show by creators for creators. I'm your host, Josh, and with me is Jermaine.
Hello.
This is part 2 of a 2-part video where we talk about freelancing, how to start, tips and tricks that we have, and just general freelancing knowledge that we have. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. You can find us on social media on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can listen to this on YouTube and also on Spotify and SoundCloud. So, since this is part 2, we're going to do a quick recap. Jermaine?
So, we talked about the first episode. We talked about how you start and your gear, your niches, and how to do about that. Well, now we're going to talk about how to start a business.
So let's say you got your gear, you've got your niche, you know which one you want to do, you know if you want to be a freelance wedding videographer or a event videographer or filmmaking or whatever. You got that down. You have some work on your website. Well, no, maybe you don't even have a website. You got work on your social media, your personal, your Instagram or whatever. Now, the question is, should you start a business? Now, there are a lot of benefits to starting your own business for videography. But at the end of the day, it solely depends on what you want to do. Like, if you want to pursue it further and you want it to further your career as like a videographer, then yeah, go ahead. If you're just doing it as a hobby or like a side hustle,
You don't really need to do
you
it.
don't really need to do it. It really is just subjective.
Yeah.
And a lot of this information is going to be just from like my personal experience from like starting a business. So, this isn't the standard of how to do this because from my own experience, I've learned that there's so many infinite ways to do this. So like there is no right or wrong way. Just kind of be open to learning and figure out your own way to do it. We're just going to tell you how I did it, how we go about it, and
Yeah.
you can take what you will from that. So let's just start off with like the first kind of thing. And let me tell you real quick, I have a notebook that I use for ideas and also taking notes about business information. This thing is filled with branding, with social media, with how to set up a business and stuff like that. Just to start off with that, whether you make a business or not, get a notebook. Just have a notebook to put your ideas down, take notes down. You never know when inspiration is going to hit you, and you never know when you're going to need to like go back to something. So, yeah. Let's say you decide that you're going to start a freelancing business. To start off, find a name. Just any name. It can be pretty simple. It can literally just be your last name Productions. That's a pretty boring one, I'd say, but like if that's what you want to do, like maybe you have a really cool last name, like Moon Skull or something. That'd be cool, honestly. Moon Skull Productions. Write that down. That's ours now. just anything. You can combine 2 words. If you have a partner, it can be you and a partner, and that can be your thing. Just get a name down. Kind of experiment with the logo, and once you kind of have that down, and you know for sure you want to have a business, and you're not turning back on it, get a name reservation. A name reservation essentially means that you can legally use this name and no one's going to sue you for it.
Yeah.
It's pretty important to do because it's very easy to get sued if you don't have the rights to a property or IP.
Yeah, you don't want to get sued by your own name.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah.
So if you know you're going to start a business about it, if you know you want to like, make money off of this, get a name reservation, and establish your business. To file online, it's like $120 to $200 depending on your kind of business. If you register as an LLC, it's really simple to do. You just need to get some information, put it out online, and you put your money down and get your information. and make sure to write down your EIN,
Mm-hmm.
um, because you can use that for tax and like loans and just whatever else. And it's really not too difficult. It feels very difficult to do that, but it's really not too difficult. Once you get that, boom, you're legal. You
Yeah.
are a legal business entity that you can use in your state. Um, but going on from that, let's say you have your name, you are registered, but where are people going to find you? And you know what that is? That is where social media and branding comes in.
Absolutely.
Um, what would you say is like the key social media platforms for branding, especially for like specifically videography?
I think the best place for videography has to probably be Instagram and Twitter,
Mm.
because there's a lot of people that I've seen recently on Twitter who are looking for people for work, and there's entire groups of pages, whether it be a page, whether it be a group. They go by many names on every different platform,
Mm-hmm.
and joining those groups can help you find actual jobs for your LLC. So those jobs, which will need contracts, which we will talk about later,
Mm.
those will benefit you and your LLC. So
Yeah.
make sure you're getting that down.
Yeah. Uh, so yeah, let's say you pick your social media sites.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make sure that you have your stuff up to date, have an interesting bio there, and get a website. It's really simple. You can get Squarespace or Wix or something. Get a website that people can come to and see your work on.
Linktree is also a good thing. If you link
Yes,
your
definitely.
website and most of your social media platforms together,
Mm-hmm.
it makes the people who are looking at your stuff, it makes it so much easier
Yeah.
for them to traverse through all your content.
And when you're just starting off, you're probably most likely going to be posting your work on like your personal account.
Yeah.
Um, make a business Instagram account. It doesn't have to be like registered like as a business
Yeah.
under Instagram.
It just needs to be separate from your personal.
Exactly. Because that's a place that people can come to and they can find exclusively just your work. And just keep posting stuff, you know? It can be little projects, little tidbits, BTS, whatever. Just have stuff that people can come across and find your work so that they can see your worth. And that's just kind of just basic marketing, social media, branding stuff,
Yeah.
you know? Uh, and that goes such a long way. That's how you can find a lot of clients. That's how you can just get seen by a lot of people. But let's say you get seen by a lot of people, and let's say you start getting messages. That's when you have to start learning how to interact with your clients.
Yes.
Client interactions are something that
They can be ups and downs.
ups and downs. They're all ups and downs.
Yeah.
And you gotta be you gotta be a people person.
Yeah.
Really.
Basically, when you're talking to a client, in a way, you have to tiptoe some people get annoyed
Yeah.
of recommendations, or, maybe we should do this, maybe we should do that. So
Mhm.
being very calm, collected, and kind of present them as if these are your options.
Yeah.
That,
Well, actually, here's something that really has helped me, like getting work and just like talking with clients.
mhm,
Don't s- give them options exactly.
really.
No, it's better to give them solutions to problems they don't think that they didn't know they even had.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I noticed that you don't have a video on your website. I noticed you don't have video on your social media. If you, want me to, I can make some videos for you that people can see your product or your service in action. That will get you so much more click-throughs than just like, oh, hey, I'm a videographer. Maybe you want some work.
Yeah.
Here's something I can possibly do. If you present them like a problem that they don't know they had, they're going to be like, oh, you know what? I'm open to this now. And if you're just starting off and you like offer to them like some free work or some free kind of like, trial, most likely they're going to hire you to do actual work for them.
Yeah.
But even then, and like Jermaine said, sometimes you have to tiptoe, but you still need to make sure to know your worth.
Mhm.
Do not undercut yourself.
Absolutely. If you undercut yourself, they will make sure
Yeah.
that you're undercut even more. Like, what is what is the word? Not betting. It's kind of like when you not debate. When you're negotiating prices,
Yeah.
the key thing is to make it in a way where it can move up or down.
Yeah. It's you should have like a starting number, I'd
Yeah.
say, a number where like it is worth your time and effort, but also affordable with whoever you're working with.
Mm-hmm.
Because like if it's a small business, they might not have like a marketing budget for all you
Yeah.
know. So you want to work with them. Like be open to working with them while also knowing your own worth and
Yes.
knowing what you offer and what you bring to the table. Uh, but that's not something you're gonna do if you're just starting off. Don't go up to like a business and be like, "Hey, I will do this for you for $2,000."
Yeah. No.
You're gonna get rejected immediately,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you have no work that's already out there. Um, but once you kind of build up a portfolio, once you build up some like work that people can see, and like you've done some work and you have like reviews, you can raise your budget. Budget is really hard to go with because there is no exact go-to number.
Yeah.
Um, there's so many like different things that people say about this. Some people be like, "Know your worth. Do not change your prices at all for anybody." And there's people like, "Okay, give them a discount. Just
Mm-hmm.
always give people a discount because it's like you want this work."
Yes.
But I can't tell you how to do that. I can't tell you how you should budget your work. All you can do is take into consideration your worth, your equipment, your time, and what they expect of you.
Yes.
And that really does go a long way. It really just comes down to talking to people and making sure that it's a mutual understanding and like a mutual thing that you your time matters and they are getting what they want out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that does lead us to something that is very important to go over when you're negotiating with a client. Let's say that you're going with a client, things are going really well. You got an agreed upon or like an idea of a price and like an idea of like the project. Now, get a contract. Just get a contract in place. It doesn't matter how big the project is. Get a contract in place because it is so easy to just think, oh, it's fine. I'll just do it real quick, and then completely have everything go wrong.
Yes.
Um,
That's another thing. Expect things to go wrong
Yeah.
constantly in this and any business that you create. There's always going to be something that goes wrong. But a contract typically and usually fixes all of your problems.
yeah. So let's say hypothetical situation. Let's say that you were booked to do an event, and the day of the event comes, and it's rainy or something, right? And because it's rainy, they cancel the event. And you don't have a contract in place. So let's say that because of that happening, they just, reschedule the event or something, but then they decide, okay, you know what? We're losing money on this. Let's not go with this person.
Mm-hmm.
You lose that contract
Yep.
because you didn't have a contract in place in the first place. So it's important to have a contract where you can put something along the lines of like, in the case of inclement weather, uh, we will reschedule.
Yes.
Or especially, this is a good one. In your contracts, have a deposit. A deposit is something that could be small. It could be like $10 to $50 before the project actually happens. But if you put a deposit up, the odds of a client fully going through with whatever project that you are talking about, it will happen most likely.
Yeah.
Just because it shows that you are serious and they are serious.
Yes.
Because they already spent some money on you. So get a deposit and put like, scheduling things. Like, okay, so they want me there at this time. They want this specific material from me. They want it done by this time. All that stuff should be in your contract. And it doesn't even have to be like a super complicated legal contract. You can find one online. You can get a quick template. You can like change words, just copy and paste it, and just change it. Just get a contract in place. It will save you so much hassle. It will honestly save your life.
Yeah.
Um, and we can talk about our own personal experiences from that because I think we like kind of went over it before in like one of the first episodes, but there was a project that we like just starting off like right after the Comic Con
Yeah.
um, that we got suggested to do, and in that project, it was it was a large project for one, and we had just been starting off, so we didn't have a lot of equipment, didn't have a lot of experience, but they wanted us to do a very very large thing,
Yes.
huge, and they promised a huge like payoff. Um, we had met with them 2 or 3 times. It sounded really legit. We saw like the location and everything, but I didn't have them sign a contract. I didn't think that it was necessary at the time because I was like, okay, I'm just starting off. I don't even have like an LLC or a business like legit, so I don't need a contract, right? And that bit me in the ass so badly because what ends up happening was the day of the event, I had told Jermaine and Dylan and some other people, okay, we got to be up at this time and we got to go to location. So I had gotten up really early. I was getting all ready. I had my equipment. I was moving it to the living room. Um, Dylan was going to be my ride, so he was on the way there and he had woken up late, so he was panicking. And he was like, it's okay, Josh. I'm still making on time. And he was rushing over. And then as I'm like getting the equipment to walk out the door, I get a text that just says, event is canceled. Call you later. And that crushed me. And literally a couple minutes later, Dylan comes to my door. I open. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Josh. It's okay, but we can go right now, and we'll be fine." I said he canceled, and then the look on his face, I was just like, I felt it too. Um, but what ended up happening was some money issues for the event, and because of that, the event got canceled, and we didn't have a contract in place, and I was unsure if I was going to get paid now because, like, you know, he had made promises, made a lot of promises that seemed way too good to be true.
Yeah.
And because of that, with no contract, no deposit, nothing in place, there was no certainty that I was going to pay myself and pay my crew for their time and their effort. And it was a huge learning thing for me. Because of that, I get contracts for anything I do now. Anything
Yeah.
small. A small little photo shoot that I do even, I will get a contract in place for just to make sure that like it's happening and you know, I'm getting paid for my time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Um
So if, like he said, if you don't have an LLC or any type of business set up, you should still, it's good practice for when you do set up
Exactly.
your business. So start making contracts now. Um,
just look up just Google it real
yeah,
quick, you know.
you will learn everything, and there's so many templates that you could use.
Just look up like film production or video production contract
Mhm.
or like videography contract. Easy. And it will save you. It will literally save you. Um But since we kind of brought it up, we're going to talk about our tips on jobs to avoid at
Yes.
all costs. And this is from our own personal experiences. You could disagree with us if you feel like that. Tell us. Or if you agree with us and you have your own stories, leave it in the comments. Um, so, Jermaine, give us one. Give us just a job to avoid.
One where the client is not really involved at all. So you would go on websites and stuff like that, and you would look for these jobs, and maybe they're asking, let's say hypothetically, a graphic designer, and you're a graphic designer. You get this job, and you talk to the client for maybe the first day, and the client tells you kind of vaguely what they want, and you make it. You try to contact them, nothing. See, that's what a contract would come in handy,
Mm-hmm.
because that kind of shows them like I kind of need to answer this person, the
Yeah.
person who's doing my work for me,
And
doing the
it
graph.
really helps to
Yeah.
like put in like, okay, what they're expecting of you
Mm-hmm.
and what you expect of them. You know,
Yes.
because if they don't give you the information to like do your job, and then you do something and you give it to them and they're upset, that's a whole problem in
Yeah.
itself. Because then they're gonna be like, oh, but you didn't get this, or you didn't do this, or I was expecting this, and it's like, well, you didn't communicate that to me.
Mm-hmm.
So if like somebody that you're working with, like a client, doesn't give you information for what they want, it's gonna be a bit difficult, especially if you're trying. If you're trying to like talk to them and ask them what they want and they expect, and they are just giving you nothing, and then you do something and they're upset,
Yeah.
it's just a headache and a half, honestly.
Yeah. And sometimes you come into people who refuse to sign a contract, and that's usually
Mm.
a red flag on itself.
Yeah.
Because
It,
from our experience, it just shows that they're not really interested in actually getting the work done.
yeah,
And
they don't care about your time.
yeah,
They expect you to provide for them, just without any kind of agreement. Where it's
Mhm.
just like it's mutual. It's like, okay, like let's say I want a music video from you and you're a videographer. Let's say I come to you and I'm like, hey, I want this. I will give you this much money, and you're like, oh, well, my budget is this, and if we can get a contract in place, and I'm just like, no contract, and you're getting paid this. Would you want that job?
no,
No, it's
I,
not fair.
I
To
don't
you.
expect you to go through it.
No, it's just not cool.
Yeah.
It's not okay for you. It's not beneficial.
It's so easily to get screwed over.
Yeah, they don't care about your time,
Mhm.
and it's just not worth it. So if a contract is in place, or if they're just avoiding trying to sign a contract, that's a red flag. Um, just if you like bring up a contract, you don't even say contract. Contracts sometimes scare people.
Yeah.
Just say paperwork. Say, hey, we sent paperwork for you to sign, and like, oh, I don't want to do that. That just means that they don't want to be locked in with you.
Yes.
They want to be able to be like, or even like, you go and do the job, and then you're like, trying to like send the finished product to them, and they're all like, oh, this isn't what I was expecting. I'm not paying you anymore. That's why they don't want to sign a contract.
Yeah.
So, yeah, try to get a contract signed. That's kind of what this entire podcast has been about. Get a contract.
Yeah.
It'll save you.
You. Yeah. Your life would be saved, and you will make sure you will actually get paid.
Yeah.
Because
This is your job.
yes.
Something that is another red flag is clients that compare. You will come across clients when you're talking to them, negotiating with them about, your services, is, oh, so and so will do it cheaper, or they said that they would do it for this. That is a strategy for them to try to talk you down from your budget.
Yeah.
And if they bring that up, it really just means that they do actually want to go with you, but they are trying to talk you down. They
Yes.
like the quality of your work, but they do not respect, you as a person. They want to talk you down. They want to get what they want. It'd be different if it's along the lines of more like, oh, I only have this much budget, but I would like to work with you. Is there some way we can work this out?
Yeah.
You can adjust your services to fit that. It's different if somebody is coming to you and like, oh, so and so said that they would do it cheaper. If they said that, they would do it cheaper, tell them to go with them.
Yeah.
If they don't value your time and your budget, then you don't have to, bring yourself down for them.
Yes. Absolutely.
Just make sure you're looking out for yourself in this industry, in the creative industry at all, because it's so easy to be screwed over because people don't value your work.
Yeah.
And your work matters. Your art matters.
Yes.
Always remember that.
Absolutely.
Do you have any more red flags, Jermaine, from the list or otherwise?
I do actually.
Mm.
When a client takes you like locations is a
Mm.
big one. Some locations, like we had this one client who took us to a location that was kind of not doable,
Mm.
and they insisted that we do it there, and we had to try to talk them into like, let's do it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Well, That again would fall line probably with the contract.
Mm.
So make sure you be like, any locations that we go to, they're safe, they're doable, and
We have permission to
we
be
have
there.
permission to be there, because that's a big one as well.
Uh,
Because getting kicked out is so easy in this industry. It is, because there's places where you want to film, but you're not allowed, and there's sometimes you can get away with it depending on who you talk to,
mm-hmm.
but most of the time, you will get kicked out by
Yeah.
someone.
And if you don't feel safe, like personally safe or like your equipment safe, because carrying around those bags with like hundreds or thousands of dollars worth of equipment, if you don't feel safe on a job, then that in itself is a red flag. But location, that's a big one, because sometimes you just can't do something that a client wants, and like you gotta work with them somehow. But if they aren't respecting your boundaries, you know. But yeah, it is important to put your safety, your well-being, and your worth above everything else, because it's, like I said, easy to get screwed over. It's so easy to get screwed over. We can make an entire list of just how you can be screwed over in this industry.
But we're not here to scare you.
No.
We're here to encourage you to do this work, because honestly, this world needs more of this work. It needs more art. It needs more creativity.
Yeah, the world runs on creativity, and
Yeah.
I will stand by that.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, we've done a lot of jobs. We've talked to so many people potentially for jobs, and it's all been a learning experience, especially for me, because like I said earlier, you have to kind of be a social person
Yeah.
to be, videographer, just be a freelancer in general. I'm not. I'm an introvert pretty much. I don't really like go out like that. I don't really talk to just anybody, so I had to learn to do that.
Yeah.
That's a tip for you. If you want to be a freelancer, you gotta learn to talk to people.
Yeah. Break your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Like, it'll benefit you a lot, especially because there's times where you're very nervous and anxious, and you don't want to ask a client a certain question because you feel as though it might be the wrong question. But honestly, just ask them.
It's
it.
better to ask and know than wonder and fuck up, for lack of better words. Now I want to know. This question came to me. What has been your favorite job that we've done videography wise, and your least favorite? Without saying the names of people or businesses.
Can I say the name of the film?
No.
Okay. I like the stuff we do outside.
Outside?
Yeah.
Well, you can say the name if it's a good one, but you can't say the name if it's a bad one.
Okay. Hungry Hike.
The one that we just did.
Yeah, the one we just did, Hungry Hike. I thought I had a lot of fun making Hungry Hike.
It was fun. You were an actor on it.
Yeah.
But that's more of a film job. I was thinking like videography. Like something that we were hired to do. You know what I mean?
Oh, so when it comes to videography,
Mm-hmm.
I think Fresh Air.
That was still like a film that I wrote.
Oh
that.
my god!
So you can't remember your videography job? So you just didn't. Like
I just don't want to name the ones that the videography jobs, that we've. Yeah, like there's some.
Give me a hint. Give me a hint.
All right.
Let's see if we're on the same wavelength.
I want to say it. Damn. It involves a tree.
Involves a tree.
Yeah, we shot under this tree, not under it, but yes, we shot under
that one.
Yeah, I mean the visuals, I think are okay. I know I could have done the visuals a lot better.
Yeah, we were stuck with that one because they wanted us to shoot at a certain time, certain location, in a certain way, and they were not really open to suggestions. And like that kind of
it's funny, we had, thinking about it, we did that twice. We have 2 tree scenes, not the same film, but two tree scenes that were both difficult. Yeah.
I guess trees just are bad luck for us.
Yeah.
Favorite videography jobs that we've done? Like videography. Don't think of like film. Just think of straight up videography.
I don't even know. Honestly,
Like the
I'm
Comic
just
Con's like one of my
yeah.
favorites.
The Comic Con is a really really good one.
Mm-hmm.
The what year was that?
That was like 2018, 2019.
Yeah. You know, the 72 we did,
That was not a videography job. That was a film like thing that we did.
but I did the videography for it.
That's
Still filmed up.
cinematography, but yeah.
Listen, I didn't do much of not like our own work.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that is not our own work, you know, we tend to work together
True.
at the videography. So I can't really
That's true.
say which one I like the most because you know, I take pride in almost all of them.
Okay. I will admit that I have some that I just do not like. I wasn't happy with, and that's primarily just because of like how the people were with me.
Yeah.
Because how they interacted with me
Mm-hmm.
kind of showed that they didn't really respect my work.
Yes.
They didn't really respect the art or like what I was asking of them. And like ironically enough, a lot of those are either ones that I didn't have a contract with, or where somebody like kind of didn't take suggestions
Yeah.
when they said they were open to suggestions.
We run into a lot of people who information is lost between
Yeah.
like communication is lost.
Exactly. That's,
Like we would tell them, "Hey, this scene would work.
yeah, like logistically,
It's still your vision, but it would work this way." And
it'd be better if
no.
we did it this way, but they're like, no, I want it done this way, and we're like, okay, that's a lot more difficult to
Yeah.
do, and I don't know if we can manage that with the given equipment,
Mhm.
but I want it this way. Okay, we will see what we can do, and then it ends up not looking great. So it's just really one of those things where it's like communication and a contract really
Yeah.
go a long way.
Yeah, in this business, the biggest thing is contracts and communication.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna meet a lot of people. You're gonna make a lot of contracts. It's like you're gonna have an entire, probably multiple portfolios
Oh yeah.
of contracts and clients, but you know, make sure you're communicating very well
Mhm.
with your clients
Oh yeah.
because things can easily be lost.
Well, our video got cut off, so we're gonna have to end the episode here.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. If we gave you any tips or anything that really helped you, or you have a question that you want answered, leave a comment and subscribe. We love making these, and we'd love to make more. You can check us out, like we said, on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and just interact with us because we're watching.